Welcome out, ladies and gentlemen, to this upper bracket semifinal matchup of DK versus Bote. I am Sigafoo, joined out here by the one, the only, the eXtine. How you doing out here, man?
Yow! I am doing fantastic. I just had some pho about an hour ago. I took a shower. That's the Buick method of getting ready. So I am hyped for some TF2 right now.
Well, and as you should be, I mean, these two teams coming together right now, two of the top teams currently in the game. DK only with one loss on the season to K&D, as well as we got Bote here only with two losses on the season, one earlier actually to DK on this very map. So it'll be interesting to see how they bode in this playoff series. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it myself. And of course, can't forget, give a little bit of a shout out here. We got Vox Day, the other X, sitting on camera, which should be always fun and good. But eXtine, you're coming back out here, coming in here for playoffs. I mean, do you miss it? Do you miss your Highlander? Do you miss your casting?
Oh, definitely. Highlander was a lot of fun holding it down on UGC. Been busy with things, but TF2 Highlander is definitely a very special thing. All the classes represented at all times. It's madness out there, and there is a lot going on. It takes a huge amount of teamwork and coordination. I partially stepped away from casting in order to play a Highlander in UGC, and that was a lot of fun for us, the Burnsiders, but it was definitely a challenge, and that definitely kind of restoked my admiration for the coordination that it takes as a high level platinum team. That's something that I think that, like, overall, people that aren't really paying attention to TF2 as a whole miss out. That just, like, silver takes a lot of dedication, and then it takes a lot to go from silver to gold, and then from gold to plat. These guys are top TF2 players.
Yeah, well, and it'll be, and Viaduct is really a map which just will kind of bring out the top plays. I mean, personally, it is my favorite map when it comes to a competitive sense, because literally every class can have an impact, from the lowly engineer to the, probably the one who's going to have the most impact this game, which is the snipers. And tonight, one of the interesting storylines for people who are not familiar, DK actually took Boar, poached, however you want to say it. Boar was actually originally on the Bote team, and now he's switched over. So it looks like, I believe we have Smiles then, who are going to be playing sniper on the Bote side. But yeah, I mean, kind of looking at yourself, I mean, yeah, so what are your kind of thoughts on tonight? I mean, do you like Viaduct? What are some players you think that we should look out for?
I do really like Viaduct. I agree with you that it has a lot of versatility in the classes and who has the capability to shine. It definitely comes down to controlling the sniper and keeping them on lockdown. As you mentioned, Boar, the acquisition that DK was looking for after last season, and might be really solidifying their capabilities as a team here. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that. We'll have to keep an eye on the Demo Man for sure. That's a class that can really control the tempo around the point. And also, you pointed out Engineer. I also really love to see how Engineers work this map. And that is my boy, Spamfest, one of my favorite engineers. So I'll be keeping a close eye to see how he does tonight.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. And I mean, kind of looking at the matchup the last time round, one of the interesting stat lines that kind of jumped out was, so Axiomatic was the old sniper for DK before Boar came on. So it was Axiomatic versus Boar being on Bote at the time. And Boar, I mean, just out-sniped Axiomatic like crazy. And still Bote lost that game. So, I mean, now that they don't even have Boar on their team, who Boar is, considered to probably be, I mean, if he's not like the top sniper, he's definitely up there. He's definitely got his name written down in that class. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they recover. I mean, particularly watching Bote over the last couple of weeks. I believe we watched them over the Swiftwater game. Fusion as well as Penguin, the flank classes. That's Fusion being the scout and Penguin being the soldier. They were phenomenal. I mean, they were so consistent, so doing so much work in the game, and so it'll be interesting to see what they do. This map kind of limits flank classes it can, because it's kind of hard to get to the enemy side without being like completely shot down. But it'll be kind of interesting there tonight. I mean, and one of the other big things, I mean, I don't know, do you know who's missing out here tonight, eXtine?
Yeah, you had pointed out to me before in pregame that we have a different heavy in here tonight for Bote. That is Carson instead of Brick, and Coldster on Medic. And that's always curious to me when you have Medic coming in as well as Heavy. I mean, those are both really key positions in TF2 that oftentimes kind of get downplayed. You know, a lot of the players, Sixes players and Highlander players know how influential a Heavy can be. But also there's just this feeling of, oh, it's just a dude with a chain gun. You just put him in a place and he'll do just fine. Same thing with the Heavy, or sorry, the Medic that I'm getting at. Oh, you just heal everybody and then you just right click when you get in danger. But both of those are classes that their positioning is extremely important, as well as just their overall cohesion with the team. Are they sticking with their teammates, protecting their other teammates, keeping an eye out for each other? And so I certainly would put that as a little bit of a worry, a question mark for me. How well are Coldster and Carson going to step in here for both?
Yeah, and then on the opposite side, there's actually going to be 3 roster changes on the DK side. Usually they have Corsa on Soldier, and Corsa's actually going to be playing a Demo Man tonight, I believe. Let me just double check my notes here, because they actually went through a couple iterations of it. It's going to be Corsa on Demo. Aegis is actually going to be on Soldier, and then H&G is not here today. It's going to be Bobby on Spy, kind of picking him up. And Bobby, obviously, he's a traditionally Soldier main, so I think that is definitely going to hurt them here today because, you know, Viaduct is a map where Spies can do a lot of work if done correctly, and not having someone who's familiar on Spy, especially at this level, which, you know, speaking of which, like, I originally, this is true story, was a Spy main, and I remember there was, I forget what game it was, but I remember I jumped into a scrim as a Spy, and I was like, all right, you know, Spy, you know, it's super easy, like, okay, to be, like, Ambassador headshotting all the time is hard, but Spy overall, like, I have good game sense, I can do it, I got annihilated. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, these players are so Spy aware, like they're so on top of it that if you are not like on top of your game, you know, it's definitely going to make it that much harder. And so if you're coming in playing Spy, not being a traditional Spy main, you know, we'll see if it works out. I mean, it definitely is one of those things where a Spy, if you have the game sense, it can work out on your favor, but from my experiences, it doesn't necessarily cross over, and it wouldn't shock me to see him kind of have an average to kind of sub-average game, but, you know, I'd be happy to have him prove me wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Spy is super important. I agree with you. We hadn't really talked about it before, about its impact on this map. Looks like we are going to go live here, so these teams rolling out. We'll see what we pick out, or if these teams just kind of play passive. So the demo already bombing in here for Bote in the red.
Yeah, and early on, it looks like we're going to have Bobby crossing the point as Vipa is going to be doing just the same. It's just some early damage, but no real frags coming up, but a lot of aggression coming out of DK. But Bobby taking down the Heavy right there. Right Justify goes down as well. And those 2 big picks in the classes, the combo classes right there, as well as Spring Roll. So no Pyro. This is going to give the point easily over to the favor of DK, as they're going to just control this point right now.
Yeah, they pressured in really well with the Soldier and other people starting to take the point. Created enough of a distraction for Bobby to get that easy stab. And now they're just going to establish themselves while Bote has to stabilize, find some balance, and right their ship.
Yeah, and currently Bote sitting at 100% as Skis, the medic across the way, is doing the exact same. Nobody, kind of playing a little bit of a game of chicken as the Spy is just kind of harassing DK behind the enemy lines right now, but nothing's really happening. Both Heavy sitting on their cliff side, but Spring Rolls does go down there, but Corsa goes down as well, so no Demoman on the blue side. I'm kind of surprised that Bote's not pushing in here with even Ubers.
They lost their demo a bit ago. Right Justify just now coming back into the action. So they're kind of stuck there, and Coldster actually could have gotten easily pressured to pop, who's just standing in that corner. But it looks like now they're going to get out here. Has to kind of get with Right Justify a little bit. Actually does hit a arrow heal on them, I believe. Getting some other frags as well. DK, Skis must have dropped there to Smiles.
That he did. He actually went down from a headshot there, and that opened it up. I mean, it was a great job, though, out of the Demo Man, kind of getting onto the point, kind of forcing that capture time, and actually kind of forcing the enemy team. And I think the medic was getting ready to pop his Uber to get ready to contest the point, but Smiles on top of it, getting vengeance right there, as Bote is going to be capturing the time. But currently, Bote is down about 40 seconds, so we'll see if they can continue to hold it. But with that Uber charge, it's looking pretty good that they'll hold it for a little while longer.
Ooh, yeah. Smiles is starting this game off on a tear, trying to prove himself against Bote. Doesn't really care. He's off a 7K streak, gets some damage on the heavy weapons guy, and the headshot kill against Carl.
Yeah, so they're going to be pushing across the point. Did use their Uber charge to defend this, and Skis did not go down in that exchange. Penguin way behind enemy lines, trying to find a play, but not able to find anybody right there. As Skis sitting at 90%, ready to go. There is a little bit of a sticky trap onto the point, as a Van is going to have to back up, eating a little bit too much damage from the stickies here. Spamfest going down pretty low as well, but it looks like we're going to start to see the push from DK going across the point ×2 on the point. Nobody from Bote is really contesting this, right? Justify so incredibly far back that DK is going to be able to take this without even having to pop Uber.
Yeah, Vipa behind enemy lines, but otherwise a good clean push from DK. Just keep an eye out for him. I think the Pyro might have spotted him, so they might be able to wrap him up pretty quickly here. And they are controlling the point. Bombing from Penguin. Oh, he gets the drop again!
Oh my goodness, Skis cannot hold on to anything today, and here comes Uber across the point. Gonna rub some salt into the wound here as Fusion trying to push across the point. Gonna find Carl here with the Uber, but decides to back off. The soldier does try to bomb in, but Aegis not able to find anything. Carl finally does go down, ×2 onto the point, but Devilman jumping in here, doing a decent amount of damage.
Oh.
Carson actually backing out with the Fist of Steel, rather than capturing the point as Billy Soros actually pushed to the side, taking down another. That was Spades going down. Finally, the point will go down in the favor of Bote, but they lost actually a few seconds there. Nice job by Corsa and Billy Soros to be able to defend that point and buy their team an extra couple seconds.
Those little moments add up for sure. Although now DK is starting to just kind of regain control here. Trying to make those little moments not matter.
Yeah, Bote just seems to kind of give up way too much free ground, right? Justify did eat a big headshot right there, went down incredibly low. ×2 onto the point. Spamfest doing a good job of hiding against the wall. Carl, but peeking out from the corner, doing a lot of damage right there, kind of forcing everybody back, right? Justify having to seek refuge from behind the house, get it healed back up. And Coltzer does have about a 25% Uber advantage, but the question is, do they know it? Because if they do know this, they need to go right now, but nobody's supporting them. Coltzer wants to go cross the point. Finally, here comes an Uber charge. Going to try to focus down Carl. He goes down nice and easy. Skis is trying to get out for a life, but just barely pops it in time, down to a sliver of health. The question, will he be able to stay alive once this Uber charge is over? Bobby's trying to drop down, does get the sniper right there. Spamfest, the first one forward for his team, as well as with the scout, trying to do a lot of damage as the flank classes go down. Spades, the only one left alive to be able to defend the medic. As there you go, Skis able to keep alive after all of this, as DK will retain possession of this point.
Highlander matches are so fantastic because it is those little moments that add up. And one of the things that happened that hindered Bote in that fight was that Penguin had gotten stabbed by Bobby like 10 seconds before that fight broke out. He showed up at the end of that just way too late, and you have to imagine if he was there, if other players were more involved, Bote could have gotten a better result. But DK, just great formation, great teamwork. And it's a pretty strong performance from them in that first round.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they would be able to take it. I mean, it kind of just seemed they had just a little bit of miscoordination. They needed to get more players in on that Uber charge to kind of get across the point, maybe create some space. I think they played it a little bit too safe, but we'll see if they can justify, or they can justify it in this next round here. As we're coming into our next mid-fight, Smiles with an early headshot onto Aegis going down, so no Soldier here for the DK side. What'd you see?
Bobby with a 2K. Gets the medic and the demo man. Just balling out, to be honest.
Yeah, he apparently heard me before the game and was like, oh wait, you think I'm a crap spy, Sigafoo? Let me show you who's a crap spy. You're the crap spy. As he's doing work right now, he's actually second on the board, only behind the demo man and medic right there, actually just peeking up, but doing a really good job right now and showing the power that spies can have on this map. Bote readjusting right now as Coltzer down about 85%. This is where you want to have a suicide wave go in and try to do something. I mean, you don't want to sit back here. You don't want to just build Uber. You want to try to make something happen. There's no reason not to just try to get a force off or something, but we'll see what they can do. Is they're playing this incredibly slow, Bote is.
Yeah, they were scared of Aegis. They've kind of shoved him back. Just trying to find some action, but Coltzer does have issues getting out of this left nook, it seems. Smiles goes down by Bote, so Coltzer is going to be even more trapped back there.
And there's a sticky right in front of his feet. They can't really figure out what they want to do. I mean, I don't know. It feels like they just wasted 20 seconds, you know, like kind of slowly holding this area when they could have done a suicide wave and then held this area 20 seconds later. But at least they might have had a chance as Right Justify goes down there. So no Demo Man anymore for Bote.
Yeah, and at least Cold Start is going to get to a little safer location with 90% Uber, so it will have a chance to go counter with it as Corsa coming in with the blue Uber charge. That's going to fade up. Corsa under pressure here. Going to get cleaned up pretty easily by Penguin and the Scout Fusion. Demoman right Justify getting on the left side of the point and taking out the dispenser behind the point.
Dispenser
Soldier bombing in.
Oh, can he land it? No, he just finds the fence right there. Pulling a little bit of a hard loot, trying to get a rocket onto the medic, and ends up just finding himself. So easily gets cleaned up. And that's actually going to allow Coldster to hold onto that Uber charge, so didn't even get forced in that situation. They're down by about a minute and a half, and Bote has not shown themselves to be able to hold on to the point, and we'll see if they can change that case. But I don't know, right now it's not looking really good as Right Justify down incredibly low as it looks like we're coming into our first pause.
Yes, indeedy. And of course the pause not corresponding with the actual pause in game, but Smiles just got sniped down by Boar, and you are correct, it was not looking very good for Bote holding on to the point for an extended period of time here.
Yes, I also love that we got a pause right in the middle of two heavies firing. Not just one, but two. So you get that nice kind of background sound is, yes, confirmed pause. I'm not sure exactly what for, but there definitely is one going on right now. But, I mean, this is kind of it, is, you know, we can kind of speak to, like, kind of the game situation and what's happening with Bote and DK, is that Bote, every time they capture the point, they're just playing so incredibly passively. I mean, look at this right now, is like, Van, the scout for DK, he's just standing on the point. He's not even contested. Carson's standing way far back. Right Justify ate a headshot, and so he got pushed back. But I mean, even if that's it, it's not only Right Justify's, you know, problem to deal with the pressure on the point. I'm thinking that maybe Penguin's not doing enough damage, or I mean, he's standing in exactly where he needs to be on the flank side that can spam the point. But I mean, look at Van right now. He is at full HP standing on the point. Like, something is going wrong there.
Yeah, Penguin definitely has been kind of getting shut down and having some issues getting in. He's had a few good bombs and attempts where he just doesn't quite get the kill, and those at least, you know, are fine because it's like pressure, you know, and you just gotta keep throwing those out there. We'll see what he does here now. He actually eats a rocket, and he's gonna have to retreat back for health. We got the red Uber charge coming in. They do block the recapture and are pushing blue back a fair amount. Boris snipes down Spades. He's working from China up top there. Has a great vantage point of the whole battlefield here. He's got a spy behind him, though, so Vipa's going to gun him down. And Spamfest on the point. He's got reinforcements with him, so they're going to take the capture. No problem.
And there we go. Nice job there by DK to just kind of kite that Uber charge and push straight back out. So they're holding themselves in a pretty good position right now. And kind of see what they want to do with this, as Skis is holding on to that 100% Uber. Colts are now down to 9%. And it kind of just seems like, yeah, Bote, I mean, their Ubers are just not effective. I mean, I think maybe they need to bring like, Penguin on them, but here comes in Penguin. He wants to find that drop again. Is he able to do it? He's going to get rejected. Nice and easy there. There you go. Nice job by DK, not allowing a repeat of what happened, and Right Justify goes down, so no Demo Man here for another 5 seconds on the Bote side.
Yeah, great protection by Billy Soros there. And I also didn't really feel like there was much following that bomb up. Coldster was feeling really insecure in that same position, but Skis has so many players around him and a little bit more forward pressure that he's not as endangered.
And I mean, kind of look at the same situation again. They were down 100% Uber, Bote was, and they didn't do anything. They had Penguin Bomb one time alone. You know, I think they could have brought a few more people in here, and this is where the pause happened. It looks like, I think someone dropped out of the server. I'm not exactly sure, but times one onto the point. Carl cleans him. Carl down incredibly low. Uber does come out onto Fusion right here. Skis down to half HP. Pops Uber back in charge as the course is going to be running across the point, as well as with the scout trying to defend this. Bobby drops down, not able to connect on a stab as the countdown is ticking down in the favor of DK right now. Will go into overtime. Yes, it will. Times 5 onto the point. They'll recaptures, but DK in an incredibly good spot, but Corsa gets cleaned up right there. Spy above the medic and snipers going down onto them. Boar is going to clean up with a nice body shot there, but the point finally going back in the favor of Bote.
Great shot by Smiles there on Aegis as he was thrown away from the point. Made sure that he did not survive, but Fusion is going to go down to Boar. Just a body shot, but unfortunate. He picked off Carl, but all things considered, I don't know, maybe it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, when you die, when you control the point, you're on about a 2 times longer respawn wave, and you have to question if your life was worth just a trade for having it. And if you think about it, it probably wasn't. But here we go. Ubercharge is going to be popped off from Bote, trying to chase across the point. Skis down to 9 HP with 87%, going back to spawn. Fusion not able to connect on that final shot, unfortunately, but the point will retain in the favor right now of Bote with a minute left on the clock.
Spamfest also barely survives on that right-hand side. Well, until he gets headshot down, but he did get a kill on Fusion, I was trying to point out. Ubercharge in with Corsa on the point here. Red Spy Vipa getting behind enemy lines. Corsa, as the Uber fades, gets pushed back. Penguin juggled up in the air and taken care of. Blue just needs to finish the capture here, and there we go. 2-0 in favor of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
And that round might have been decided by 9 HP. Skis down to 9 HP, able to get out alive with 90%. I definitely think that round might have been a little bit closer if he would have dropped there.
See how this mid-fight goes here. As it opens up, Vipa hit with the milk. Aegis jumps forward and then back. Penguin down. There goes Carl and Boar. And Coldster getting stabbed down, though, by Bobby.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get that. Bobby, with a lot of key picks going on today, doing a good job of waiting for his team to distract.
Yeah, Bobby definitely has gotten some effect. Last mid-fight, he just jumped off the window frame on the kind of the left-hand side, since he's on blue facing red, and then onto the fence and dropped back down, and then got a 2K and followed up with a revolver. Getting the medic again this mid-fight definitely had a huge effect, although Bote did end up with control of the point.
Yeah, Ski's holding on to that 100% Uber, so now it's just a question of how does DK want to do this. Scout getting some free capture time, just kind of poking the point. Look at this, already almost up halfway, and he's still at a full HP. Carl does go down. There's no heavy on this push, as Uber does come across the point. Corsa trying to get down some damage, but not able to connect anything. Here comes Vipa coming in, does get a stab, but the point does go down in the favor of DK. But here comes Bote. The ship is sailing. The point is going to go back in their favor, and not even having to use anything. Nice job there of kiting that Uber and then re-pushing back in for free.
That was a good push. They did a great job there, taking care of business. I mean, it was killing everybody before DK even really got in there. They lost like 4 people before they popped their Uber. So they just had nothing they could do there. Vipa and Smiles getting kills.
Stepping up to the plate, and right now they're actually looking like they're holding pretty decently. And here comes Ubercharge. And what are you seeing right now, eXtine?
This is a good pop here as the demo man does push in, has to back up a little bit. It did use the Ubercharge on the scout. Fusion combining with spring rolls to get the kill on Carl. It'll diffuse DK a little bit, but Skis does have a little over 80% once you get in here with this.
Yeah, of course, way up in the air there.
Yeah, well, surprised he survived that, but he had the kills on him the whole time, I guess.
And DK is going to get that point for free again. I feel like that's the story of the day. DK getting a point for free. Here comes the Ubercharge. Going to be pushing them all the way back up to spawn, but Corsa decides just to back off, play it safe, not to overextend. They're probably the correct decision.
Penguin way behind. He's going to go over to the health pack on the other side. Takes out the dispenser. Still jumping around with gunboats. Is taken out by Bobby, though. DK kind of on the back foot behind the rock. Billy Source trying to chase out Vipa. Got some stickies coming over the top. The Ubercharge is out here pushing the scout and the demo man forward, getting a lot of work done. That's Vipa from behind. Huge kills.
Yeah, and now down he goes. Only 3 players alive at the end of that one, just respawned, but great job out of Bote there. They flooded what they needed to, and that's what they've been missing on a lot of their Uber pushes. If it just been 2 alone in that time, they had about everybody on the team going with it, and it worked out great for them.
Yeah, really strong push. Combining their damage and getting a lot done there. Ipa infiltrating. He's going to come up from behind on this cliffside. Sees Billy Saurus. Gets bumped into, so they're going to be able to track him down. Blue pushing forward on the point. The milk hits a couple players. Maybe just the medic. He's got an arrow for Carl.
Yeah, and Right Justify went down there early to a snipe, and down goes the heavy engineer as well. Penguin trying to make a play, does take down Carl, but he's going to get cleaned up right above the train tracks. The Skis is going to have a slight Uber advantage here as they come back with the point in about a minute on the clock as well. DK is looking incredibly strong right now.
Yeah, they got Vipa lurking behind, a couple players on cliffside, and almost having an Ubercharge ready to go. Skis has one to match. We'll see what can happen here for Bote.
Yeah, this is, I mean, Bote, they need this round. They need to get something. They can't go into this half 3-0, and the Ubercharge is going to come across the point from each team as Corsa chasing across, trying to take down the heavy, and down he goes. Carson smiles as well, going down from Bobby, so no sniper here for the red side. No capture time yet from Bote, as he's still dancing for his life. Coltzer is going to keep alive as well throughout all of this, but Bote, despite trading Ubers here, hasn't done anything to regain ground.
Wow, yeah.
And down goes Fusion as well.
Yeah, they're getting kills all over the place. Boar getting right Justify and Spades. And then Carl just being kept alive as he slow pushes across the point. Of course, as I see that, he gets sniped down by Smiles, but Penguin just kind of poking. He has to back up. The rest of Bote not ready to push on top of that kill yet.
And so here they go. They're looking pretty good right now as Right Justified trying to get something across point, trying to find something, trying to rally his team. And they need to do just that as Spades finding the spy, sapping his items. And what do they want to do right now? Colts are seeing at 75%. They've been pretty passive with this stuff as Right Justified playing incredibly aggressively. Penguin bombing in, trying to get a force. He does get the force off on the skis there. That's going to open it up right now. Colts are at 95%. They should be able to push back, but Corsa is going to try to force them early here.
Yeah, here we go. With Carson leading the way, Ubercharged heavy weapons guy flashing the scout a little bit as well so he can stay alive. The soldiers on the right-hand side, but Aegis gonna get taken down. It is an excellent play by Bote. They have crushed 8 people. Just Bobby. And there he goes, a team wipe.
A team wipe in Highlander, man. That is amazing. Beautiful play out of Bote. With 40 seconds left in the clock, that's the rally call they needed, and this is looking very good for them right now, as they're going to be also at a 30% Uber advantage.
Yeah, Skis has the Ubercharge gun out, but don't think that's quite enough time without an Uber saw, but if the cap drags on, maybe, just maybe, they can get an Ubercharge here.
We'll see if Bote can defend this. They've been struggling with the dry pushes from DK all game right now, and 9 players live on each team. DK is not looking to back down. Here comes a soldier over the top. Aegis incredibly low. Corsa actually eating a lot of damage right now. Has to keep himself alive as the Colts are going to be coming up to 100% right now. The time is ticking down. 5 seconds left in the clock. Right Justified pushing across the point. Getting damage down onto Billy. Sorry, Skis down incredibly low. Down goes Corsa. No Devilman here for this next push as Skis goes down finally. And there you go. Bote finds the first round of the game.
Awesome. Yeah, they did a great job at the end there with that Uber charge, pushing forward, pressuring DK. They knew that DK was desperate, had to push in. They also got an excellent mini sentry gun out of Spades that really helped lock down the side and just keep DK in check. So 2-1, as you were saying, this, losing the first half of KOTH 3-0 is pretty terrible for your morale.
Yeah, and so this is, I mean, especially the end, getting a team wipe, going into holding the point for 40 seconds, defending against a dry push. But Coltzer did go down early here from a body shot of Boar, so that's going to hurt their chances right now. As Corsa does go down, though, so that's not going to be too bad. DK's going to be a little bit slow on their push here, but I say that, but I look at the scoreboard and I see 4 players alive, and DK should be pushing across the point, but they're all just chasing the spy right now.
Yeah, I think just making sure that Skis stays up, which is most important. They can kind of get out here and get the point eventually. They had Bote bombing in Right Justify after Colster went down, you know, just trying to find Skis. So a little slow getting forward, but they take care of the situation. Now they're getting set up with some stickies on the side of the house, and Boar getting another snipe with Right Justify going down.
So right now, Bote doing what they always do, which is a steady course. But actually, I say that, here comes in Penguin, wants to make a play, gets Skis down to about 100 HP, but no one is there to follow it up. Vipa is right behind, but a little bit too late to be able to make a play off that. Smiles went down there as well, so no sniping is going to happen here for another few seconds. As Colts are only at 50% right now, so probably another 20-30 seconds before any pushes happen even.
Yeah, TK just doing a really good job of pressuring and not overcommitting. They'd really only lost Aegis there, and he took down a teleporter while he was bombing around. So he was being pretty helpful, just doing crazy roamer stuff. We actually have the Uber charge popped out here.
Yeah, there was a bomb in from the demo in Soldier.
Okay.
Penguin, finally, Bote, they're listening to me. They actually had a coordinated suicide wave in there. What'd they do? They got a force off. That's going to give Coltster 100% to push in here, but they are going to lose Carson. So this is going to be a little bit of a bad play, but down goes Carl.
Yeah, not quite the trade that Bote was looking for. They lost a little bit more there. And the heavy and pyro going down for the heavy weapons guy. Now they're pushing forward though, just trying to surge, but I think really it's just DK being comfortable, and careful that they've backed up and they realized they had really strong numbers, can search forward. That is what they're doing. Oh, of course, it goes down before he can grab the health pack. The mini sentry taking him down, but that is really just a small victory for Bote. They did get some spawns, are trying to surge forward here. Not necessarily the best situation for him.
Yeah, I mean, once they lost Carson after that suicide wave, it kind of threw them off, and they didn't really know what to do. Right Justify went down early, but we'll see if they can redeem themselves as Right Justify walking across point. Uber charges are going to be traded from each team. The red one is just going to be a little bit worse as Right Justify going to run away, but Coldstar gets left out in the cold, easily gets cleaned up there by Van, who ultimately trades his life. Corsa down incredibly low, not able to connect down an arrow from his medic, and it's going to go down. ×2 onto the point here, as Carson is going to also help out. Spring Roll's coming up from the flank side, but DK opting to back out once they lost Corsa there, opting to keep Skis alive, who's going to sit at a 30% advantage, and they're also up by about 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's good that they captured the point there, but it can be really hard to hold on to it, and sometimes it's just a small consolation. They lost their medic in the process, and it looks like it'll just get flipped back over here. So they got about 20 seconds. The soldier is behind them, but they're pretty good to take care of the gun that gets down. That'll also keep him in there.
eXtine, looks like you're lagging out there unless that's just me, Vox.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think you're good now. Okay, sorry. But yeah, so I'll take it away here. So it looks like kind of through that entire exchange, DK is going to retake back onto the point as Colts are going to be sitting at 80%, so just a little bit behind Skis. They want to get a force off as Right Justify gets a nice sticky onto him, but Corsa pushing back across the point, trying to just stop them from being able to retake ground. Here comes the Uber charge out from Corsa. Actually, both are going to be exchanged. What do you see next time?
Well, the Pyro is trying to get on the point and be a hero, shove everybody off. Bote is going to be able to power through, though. They're getting numbers on the point. Carson out here, but Penguin about to go down. No, he's battling through this mini sentry. Picks up that small bottle. They are recovering. Coldster a little bit. Okay, no, he is just with the team behind the rock. They're getting some heals up, but since it's down to 0, DK can just kind of take their time and wait it out. They do lose Boar, which is not the best way to start things off, but Right Justify in a little bit of danger. Takes some damage, but gets some heals. Bobby throwing out that Dead Ringer, trying to infiltrate, get behind. Might be getting in good location here as DK also trying to force forward here.
Yeah, DK trying to do something, but they did lose Carl in their initial push right there. Boar just coming back up to be able to put himself into position. Corsa trying to get across the point. Both teams holding on to 100%. We should be seeing exchange here pretty shortly, but Smiles did go down, so no sniper here for the red side defending this point. Bote needs to be perfect as they have no time to give up. Blue currently in the overtime time zone ×2 as Van is trying to get onto the point, but nice job here by Bote. Somewhat holding on, but they're incredibly low. Look at those HPs.
A fusion on the way. Good for him. And staying alive, but DK surging forward. A few more players from Bote coming in here to crash the party, but no. It is Bote is going to be, well, sailing around in misery, at least till the second half. We'll see if they can pull it together, but they're going to have to string together a row of 3 wins in the second half, facing elimination every single round.
Yeah, and so for anybody who's not familiar with the UC structure, this is a double elimination playoff structure. Currently, we're in the upper bracket semifinals, and so what that would do, that means that whoever loses this game gets put into the lower bracket, so they'll still have a chance to get into the grand final, still have a chance to potentially win it all. But right now, it is not looking good for Bote. As you said, they're currently down 3-1 coming into this halftime. And have to win 3 straight, as you said. So let's see. Let me see if I can pull up some logs here and take a look at what exactly is going wrong.
In the meantime, quick promo, quick shout out to I-58 coming up in wholly only like 10 days. Yeah, real crazy. It is going to be here, and I'm going to be the stage host. Very excited about it.
Yeah, if you guys did not know, yeah, eXtine, they just released the thing. I think that was actually like early in August, but yeah, so you're gonna be the stage host. eXtine, I'm just gonna give you though, never give up the mic. That's the thing I've learned.
Hold it tight, hold it tight. I'll just death grip it.
Yeah, Benny's gonna steal it, and he's gonna talk about all of his trips to Disneyland and how great they are. So just gotta wrestle that away from him.
I won't
But
let
no.
anybody like Nate Diaz me or anything.
What is the dates on those for I-58?
Oh man, I think it's August 26th through the 28th are the dates of the event. That's that Friday through the Saturday. I think that's correct, and I think I'm flying out the 24th.
And you guys can keep up to date at that at teamfortress.tv. If you're not familiar, teamfortress.tv, they'll have news, resources, and of course they'll have links to the stream when they're live. But coming back to this game, DK versus Bote. We're currently at halftime. Bote is currently down to DK 1-3. And looking at the stats I linked to you, the first thing that stands out to me, I mean, we kind of talked about it in the pregame, is that snipers, I mean, they're kind of one of the most important classes on this map, and both of them are actually doing their job, as Smile's currently sitting at 30 frags. In second place, DeBoer, who's currently sitting at 36. So both snipers top fragging. One other interesting thing is Vipa is at 21 frags. The Spy is a third one. That's incredibly unusual to see a Spy so high up there, and just kind of shows you the pick class is doing work this game.
Yeah, kind of surprising. Bobby's definitely had an impact, making some important kills. But Vipa seems to just be all over the place. He's got 6 kills on the Engineer, 6 kills on the Sniper, and then 4 kills on Aegis, the Soldier. So some of the kills on Aegis might be kind of cleanup-y, but still doing an important job keeping the back line in check with those kills on the Engineer and the Sniper.
Yeah, I mean, the other interesting note is currently, I mean, it's not a drastic amount, but right justified, Bote is currently top damaging in the game right now. And even if you look at it, that looks like, what, 6? So 4 of the top 6 are Bote, who are doing out the top damage, and yet they're losing 3-1. And kind of what that tells me is that Bote is probably doing damage, but at the wrong times. They're doing too much poke damage. They're not doing enough damage to follow up on, is kind of what that would say to me.
Yeah, definitely. You know, another way of phrasing that is that DK is just better at soaking it up, rotating their players, and keeping people alive.
No, that exactly. And so, I mean, I'm even just trying to see is that the round that Bote won, they actually outdamaged DK by 6,000. But in the other rounds, they've all been within about 2,000 damage. So, I mean, they've been incredibly close matches when DK wins, but the match that Bote won, I'm sorry, the round that Bote won, was fairly drastically in Bote, but they didn't even win that convincingly. I mean, if you go back to that round, I mean, they barely etched that out after letting, DK going into overtime. Like, it was a very close round despite that damage difference.
Yeah, it definitely started off really well for him. Halfway through the round was really solid. And then it got kind of shaky. They did end it on a pretty good note with a final strong push, keeping Skis in check and making sure he didn't somehow wriggle out an Uber charge, although it was unlikely for him at that rate, just that way things were going down. Still, definitely kind of some questionable counter pushes on them, or their just inability to find Skis in time when they are trying to, time out these pushes and catch Skis and DK unprepared without that invulnerability that the Uber charge offers.
Yeah, and I mean, if you even look at the healing stats right now, actually, Skis is about 3,000 more heals despite having the same amount of deaths. So, I mean, it's a fairly substantial number. And I mean, even like Skis has dropped 2 times. Coldster has had 2 more Ubers in that way. But still, Bote is... I mean, like, if you look at these stats, if you just showed me these stats, didn't show me the score line, I mean, I would think it'd be like a 2-3 matchup, or at least like in the favor of Bote. I mean, all of these different stat lines look so good in the favor of Bote, but ultimately it kind of just seems like maybe the things that aren't in the stats, which come down to the team and how well they're working together, and those kind of things seem missing. And I don't know how much calling Brick as well as Rogue does. Brick obviously being the heavy who's not here today, and Rogue who's the medic who's not here today for Bote. How much that's really affecting them, because they got the DM, but they need that coordination, and that seems to be kind of the missing element to their game right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry.
No worries. So many interesting stories out of logs.tf. We're talking about the amount of heals, and then that got me looking at the percentages of heals as well and how that's distributed. I think an interesting story there appears with the amount of heals that Aegis got. He just ended up with 3% of the heals on DK, which is pretty small. So he's just running around, not really getting touched up, maybe taking a little bit of a buff here and there. while over for Bote, that's a larger percentage, 8%, but really kind of where some of that percentage and some of the other percentages are going is to Billy Saurus and Van. We're just getting a lot more heals out than what's happening over on Bote, where Right Justified and Carson are soaking up more of the heals overall.
And kind of bringing this back out a little bit further from the game today. So just to kind of speak, currently there are 4 matchups going down right now. And we can kind of speak to the other ones currently going down. So in the upper bracket semifinals, there's 2 games. There was DK versus Bote, which is currently what we're casting. There was the Kids Candy basically versus Man Crush Monday. And then on the bottom bracket in the lower half. But actually, as I'm saying that, we can avoid all of this and just kind of go live as we'll see if Bote can redeem themselves, as we're going to come out to the second half, first mid-fight.
Yeah, teams staying on the same colors here, and we'll see what happens here if Bote can get a good opening here. They're going to need something. Vipa doesn't quite get across, but also doesn't die, so that's a plus. Neither Bobby didn't die either. First player going down is actually a couple players down for Bote. There goes Right Justify as well. So a couple important deaths there.
Yeah, I mean, we had Smiles go down. He was the first frag, so no sniper on this initial mid-fight is always going to hurt you. Yeah. And then losing Fusion, who's the person who can create space. Penguin did just try to go make a play, but he wasn't able to find anything. The biggest thing is that Coldster was able to keep his life. He's going to hold on to his Uber charge, and that's going to give him a chance to push across the point, but Bote has not shown themselves to be terribly effective when it comes to trading Ubers.
Yeah, they're going to have to improve on that for sure. The death by Penguin was well-timed as he's back in time to come in with this push. Goes up and over Skis, ends up getting trapped behind the back of Bobby. Can't get a pop, but Skis has used it now. Right Justify having some issues getting out, but oh, a nice stab. Vipa getting Corsa. Skis has gotten out, though. There goes Aegis, also down to Vipa.
And Spamthef just barely escapes with his life. I take that back. What a beautiful sticky out of Right Justify, taking him down as Bote retakes the point. I am liking that Bote is making me eat my words, because that was a nice exchange right there, and this is going to lead to a good matchup right now, as they're currently down 30 seconds. But DK, look at this force. They're all coming out of the main side right now. Bam, pushing across point. Neither team has Uber right now, but that's not stopping the aggression of DK, and neither Penguin, who's coming in over the top, not able to connect with anything, but now he's going to be down on a long respawn, so that was a risky suicide wave to make right there, and it's not going to work out too well as DK just using this to push across point. Bobby coming in, gets a stab right there, pushing Right Justify up, as the Uber charge is going to be popped off. Ski's only at 75%. He's going to have to back off, but nobody's able to chase him down. Scout is not alive to push forward. Neither is Penguin, who died in that earlier bomb. Bote's going to retake this point, but at what cost there, as now Skis is going to have 100%.
That was pretty good. Fairly low cost. I mean, they're definitely at the Uber disadvantage. I want to just point out Spring Rolls there. Had some nice plays and then ended up eking away with just 12 health. So important to be able to stay alive there, and air blasting, shotgun, and some good work. Here comes the Uber charge though from DK. They're going to try to use this advantage. Right Justify goes sniped down. Otherwise, this is fairly okay for Bote.
Yeah, I mean, they're really not in a bad position right now. They can even try to repush this. Coldster's sitting at 80%, so giving up this point to repush about 5 seconds later, 10 seconds later, that's not going to really work too bad against them, and especially because Right Justify is going to get on that faster respawn, so he's already going to be at the front lines right now.
Yeah, hopefully they don't fall victim to those stickies. Spotted out by the Pyro. Good heads-up play there, or maybe the Heavy saw him first. Either way, dealt with. Now they're trying to move in here. Right behind him, Rock. Haven't used the Uber charge yet. Very paranoid, as they should be, but things are going okay. There's the pop. It's Right Justify trying to find Skis. Skis pretty far back, though.
Yeah, and Coldster ate a pipe right before popping that Uber, so he went down incredibly low, able to connect with the sandwich, but actually gets body shot at the exact same time, getting kind of reminded of who's the boss there, as the sniper trying to find something. Corsa just coming back up right now as he got on that long respawn wave, but then got it back up once the capture came back down. Fusion goes down. The flank classes seem to be struggling today to keep themselves alive, but we'll see as Penguin set up in a good spot right now. But now Ski's sitting at 100%, and we've just been trading Uber pushes all game today, so I don't think either's medic has died yet.
Yeah, it's turned into an interesting cycle, and the medic gets milked back. Spring Rolls taken out by Rock. Right Justify in danger as well. Coldster doesn't have it, is in danger. Oh, Aegis in his face, but taken out. Coldster getting the health back is going to be nice and healthy with 90%. Has Carson with him. They're going to need to kind of reposition themselves. Fusion sniped down from Boar, so we're going to get a little bit of intel about where the sniper is right now, but definitely need to be scared of them. Bobby coming from behind. Coldster has spotted him, calls him out, but he still gets a stab on Right Justify. Now the Uber use. Yeah.
I mean, that was a big pick on Right Justify right there, not having a demo man for this push. I mean, they're still getting capture time across the point, but Skis was able to hold on to that Uber because they weren't able to create enough space. Finally, the Uber does get popped off onto Corsa as well as Carl. We're going to defend this point, not even letting Bote capture it. 30 seconds and ticking down in the favor. If the blue team, if DK, if they get this point, they win this game, they're going to go on and continue in the upper bracket finals. We'll see what they can do as Bote is kind of coming on to their last grasp right now. They're not going to even have an Uber in time for this next push.
Yeah, DK just looking to close it out here. In control of the point. 10 seconds here. Bote has to get out, but they're very hesitant. Not really showing themselves yet. Carson trying to get on point. A couple players pushing forward here. The engineer Spades on point. Getting some time on there. Might be able to get the flip here. They're going to allow it, but that's actually probably just so that they can capture it back a little bit quicker and put an end to the game. Just Carson right now. He has got half health with the Fist of Steel thrown in the air and gunned down. The Dunning-Kruger effect closes this game out 4-1.
And I mean, they closed that game out in a team wipe. They literally killed every player there right before the round ended. I mean, I think that just kind of showed their dominance this game. And I mean, even missing core classes such as, Banny on the Demo Man, as well as switching Corsa up from his normal role as Soldier, they were still able, and also H&G on Spy. DK still showing their incredibly strongness as a team, and props to them as taking it 4-1 in these upper bracket semifinals. As I'll be curious to kind of look at these logs, but I don't know how much they will they'll speak about, but it'll definitely be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always tough to just look at the second half logs, or I mean, you gotta look at both. The second half is just going to be the one round, unfortunately. It was fun while it lasted, and Bote obviously up against a storied opponent and an opponent in good form right now.
Yeah, and well, you gotta imagine DK has some a real fire in their hearts right now. I mean, they won last season, but it was on the back of Vlad, or Vlad at least took part in it, who was ultimately caught to be a VAC banned hacker, and ultimately had the title revoked correctly. So I mean, you shouldn't allow hackers to win titles, but still, I mean, for the players who actually care, who didn't know, I mean, that definitely is going to bite them. But so DK looking really good right now, as they're only a couple steps away here from continuing on, guys. The next matchups are going to be on Thursday, so make sure you come out here, same channel, same place. I'm not sure about casters. Maybe we'll have eXtine, maybe we'll have someone else. We'll figure it out. But it'll definitely be a good match. I'll have to see who ultimately continues on. I don't know if Vox, do we potentially have is that other match going on? Do you know? All right, so we're going to take a look. We might do a double cast here, get some extra info if one of the other games was a little bit closer, because there was two games we were looking up for today. So K&D versus Man Crush Monday was looking to be a fairly lopsided to K&D. The EVL versus Chill Penguins looked to be a very lopsided matchup in the favor of BV, and so it's ultimately between Bote and DK, as well as, I believe, is KW versus AD. I gotta remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look at this thing. Yeah. Oh, Kid Warrior versus Delisi. So as those two who were looking at for the two games tonight, and ultimately decided pretty early on this matchup. But that was the other one. So I want to see if we potentially can get if we can get that. But yeah. So looking at the logs here, you just put them up. We'll look at the combined logs, but I mean, I think it's going to be pretty much the story we already saw.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll pass those along to you. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of everything we already saw. I mean, Boar just upped his kill count to put himself away from Smiles that much more. Spamfest actually got himself into that third spot. My boy, my engineer, my man. Now third fragging, so always prop to an engineer who can do that. Though his damage output was not that high. Actually, his damage output was the exact same as Spades, who had half the kills. So Always kind of interesting when I see that with an engineer. Either means he got lucky or that he was really good at, getting out the damage at the right spots. Because it's usually kind of hard to pull away drastically in terms of damage as an engineer, but when you have that much of a frag count, it just means that you're putting your guns and doing the damage where it needs to go, to kind of clean up on those weak players. So props to Spamfest to do that. But besides that, Fusion and Vipa trading, they're all at 24 frags there, as course is sitting at 23. So pretty much everything we already saw.
Yeah, in that last round, also as well, you just had a lot more deaths going out the way of Right Justify. He died 5 times compared to Course's 2 deaths. Some of the other deaths, pretty even, not too big of a deal. Both Heavies dying twice and Coldster dying once compared to Skis actually staying alive throughout that entire last round. But the difference in Right Justify dying early in these fights or not being able to really, them having to wait for him to come back certainly had some effect on Bote and their ability to just kind of assert their dominance in these fights.
Yeah, and we're gonna do I'm gonna try this here real quick. We're gonna see if we can get into the STV of the other game. So why don't you talk a little bit about I-58 as I try to see if we can get us a continued coverage here.
Sure. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in information about I-58, hit up i58.tf as a link. Right now, that'll throw you to the announcement of the broadcast crew, which includes myself as the stage host / interviewer, Getawell as the desk host, Admirable Warhuye, I need to work on that, Commander X, Sideshow, Bren, TurboTab, Samsky, Max, Dreamboat, Dave the Win, Onkaya, and a bunch of other people helping out and going to make it an awesome broadcast. So super excited about that. Super excited about the level of competition, everybody that's going to be there. Comp.tf has a page about I-58. I won't be able to link it in chat, but check them out if you want some more information about it. It is a 7,500 pound prize pool and going to be starting on the 26th and going through the 29th. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Those lands are always awesome. And well, we're gonna have an American team, we're gonna have an Australian team, several United Kingdom teams, European teams. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, and that should be great. I'm looking forward to watching it. And you still have the sideburns. I mean, that's what people really tune in for.
I do. I have longer hair now too. But I'm rocking the sideburns. I'll probably bring my bowler hat that I wore when I was at it's I-46. It was so long ago that I have to do math to remember which one I went to.
Yeah. I mean, this is true story. I actually saw someone who looked like you today. I know this is completely irrelevant, but I swear I was at a coffee shop. Guy, tall, lengthy, in the blonde, just had the mutton chop, sideburn
gorgeous
thing. Oh my god, I almost asked for his number. I was just that close.
Right,
I was you're just so close. But here, actually, we're gonna jump Carl in here real quick, and we'll do a quick post interview, guys. It looks like the other game finished up, so we'll just do a quick interview with Carl as I'm gonna get him the info. But yeah, so overall, I mean, kind of, does this game kind of meet your expectations of kind of what you're expecting today? Or, I mean, was it kind of the action-paced, Highlander that you were hoping for?
Yeah, it was good. I like some of the other formats of Highlander a little bit better, just because payload brings some unique things. I like the stopwatch. Viaduct Highlander to me sometimes is just kind of a bit too much of a wham blam where you can't always pick apart the strategy. We were able to kind of see the strategy, the important frags, and certainly it was pretty exciting to watch Boar crush Smiles in that sniper war. He got a lot more frags out of that. And it was a good, exciting game. I think Bote put up a good fight. And also, sometimes Highlander, or just, I guess, actually Koth maps in general, you end up with a 4-1 or even a 4-0, but it's always a lot closer than the scoreline really indicates.
We're joined out here by Carl, the Heavy, on DK, the winners of this game, continuing on to the upper bracket finals. Carl, you're muted right now. Can you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that deep, that sultry voice joins us again. Carl, how you doing out here, man? How did you feel about the game today?
Uh, we were pretty confident going in. Glad we won, but there was always that sort of what if because Bote is a good team, and our only scrim this week was the pregame, and we're using a very different roster than normal. But
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. I was looking at the logs. I was trying to get an idea, a sense of how you guys are going to play this week, and I noticed that you guys didn't have any scrims this week. What happened with that?
well, we had 2 scrims a week with Bote, and so we were playing them and couldn't scrim them, and then our scrim against Candy canceled, and then couldn't find any other ones.
You should just gone to a gold team. That's really it, Carl. What a scrub. No, but congratulations. I mean, you guys looked incredibly good. I mean, that one round, obviously, you guys did lose, and that just seemed kind of Boat superiorness. But one thing that kind of seemed really apparent to me of the difference between your two teams is the aggression out of your team and your dry pushing. Even if you didn't have Uber, and even if you did, you would try to take the point and kind of take the free time. I mean, what kind of was that kind of your strategy going in, or is that kind of like your just like who was doing the play calling, like who was getting those calls out there, who was leading the charge? Because it seemed like you guys were doing a really good job with that.
It was sort of a combination with Course and I. I think us two calling works really well. It worked out well in playoffs last season when we brought Course in on scout for the end of the season, and he's able to call and just sort of we supplement each other well, and we're able to play. We play similarly in that we both like to be aggressive, and so we're just on the same page and able to push.
And it's also the high intensity that you bring to the game as well, isn't it, Carl? Just that well, also in the meme pictures. That's really
Yeah.
that's what inspires. The UGC forums. That's where that's located. But yeah, I mean, any questions you want to toss out here?
Yeah, definitely. Carl, so up on the opponent side on Boat, they had Carson stepping in on heavy with Coldster on medic. How'd you feel about the heavy versus heavy matchup today?
I haven't really seen Carson play at all, but I've heard that he's pretty good. He hasn't played much heavy, but I think from what I've heard, he's pretty solid at the class.
I mean, like in games, you get a feel like, oh, like I have this matchup, like, you know, with my teammates, our demo man, we have this under control. I mean, were you able to notice that your positioning was just better than his because of what was going on, or was there anything particularly about how heavy versus heavy ended up in this game tonight?
On this map, that's not that big of a factor because my playstyle is kind of strange. I tend to just like feed at times and just try to take as much damage as possible, so their demo runs out of stickies and then we can just walk into them. And so the heavy v heavy is not that common in this map, but
I mean, you felt like you were having a strong impact on taking out the demo?
yeah, I think I was able to contribute to my team's pushes a lot by just either waiting for them to go in and then having a lot of health for the post fight, or just going in first and wasting their demo's ammo.
Yeah, we definitely pointed out the discrepancy in demo deaths in the last round, with you guys able to get several more pickoffs on Right Justify. Another matchup that we were looking at involves your guys' recent acquisition, Boar, and he was able to get a lot of results against Smiles. Actually, he got 9 kills against Smiles compared to 4 kills from Smiles onto Boar. Is there anything in particular that you guys do in this map to help punish the sniper, or even tonight, did you feel like there was much you had to do there, or did you guys just let Boar go crazy?
We try to just focus on the enemy spy so Boar could just do his thing and get kills because he's one of the best snipers in Platinum. And so if we can just set him up, we're confident we'll be able to win. We actually picked up Boar from the Boat, who we just played.
Awesome. And so, well, congratulations again, Carl, for taking the game. As we'll look forward, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, so let me see the next map here real quick.
K&D on Upward.
K&D on Upward. So how are you feeling about that? Final thoughts?
It should be a good match. I'm not sure how it'll end up, but it'll be close either way.
Well, definitely something to look forward to, guys. Don't forget, we will be casting this Thursday. It'll be the lower bracket second round. So it'll be interesting. It'll be, again, a Koth product. We don't know exactly which games we'll be casting, but definitely stay tuned around here. Carl, thank you so much for coming out here and interviewing us with your sultry voice. As always, eXtine, my man, any kind of final shout-outs before we go here?
Yeah, definitely. One more time about the wonderful I-58 event that's going to be happening on the TeamFortress.tv stream. Check out their website for all the more information about it, but it's the 26th through the 28th of August. I'm going to be doing interviews, and so throughout the event, if you have any questions that you want me to ask people at the event or anything beforehand, get my thoughts brewing, then just hit me up at eXtine at xtelevision.com. Or hit me up on Twitter at xtelevision. And thanks so much for having me tonight, Sigafoo. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Carl, any shout-outs you want to give here before we cut it off?
Shout out to Zachary and my team.
Oh, nice. Vox Day, any shout-outs you want to... I guess you can make people hear you. Any shout-outs you want to give here, the man behind the camera, floating around the screen?
Yeah, I love Jackua.
That's everybody knows that. That doesn't even need to be shouted. That's like there's a website, foxlovesjackwa.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me out here tonight. It was so much fun. eXtine, again, thank you so much coming out of your pseudo-retirement or your kind of time away to join me. I love you so much, man. Vox Day, as always, doing a great job on camera despite some of the difficulties that we had to get. I hope you guys really enjoyed the cast. We'll be having more soon as we continue to cast the UGC Platinum Playoffs. Stay tuned and have a great night.